Let's have a look at Jamaica's attempt at a renewable energy revolution in the midst of a global crisis. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Artsy. An energy crisis occurs when there is a limited supply of energy. It creates a widespread economic problem that results in decreased availability and increased prices for consumers due to the limited supply. Over the years, it could be said that Jamaica has been facing an energy crisis either intermittently or consistently, depending on who you ask. For example, the increasing price of gas and electricity are good indicators. You can read these two articles, Here We Are Again, Another Energy Crisis 2022, and Jamaica's Continuing Energy Crisis 2011, if you want to delve a little deeper into that topic. But truthfully, the whole world has been going through an energy crisis over the years, which has only gotten worse since Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
The entire world is struggling to keep the lights on. They're calling it the perfect storm. Different regions, different policies, but the same result, a shortage of energy.
Decreasing reliance on fossil fuels has been posited as a possible solution.
Around the world, renewable energy use is on the rise.
According to the International Energy Agency, IEA, in response to the global energy crisis, governments across the world have expedited their renewable energy objectives that were already in place. Jamaica, for example, has a very ambitious goal of increasing its use of renewable energy to 50% of the country's energy mix by 2030. This has been readjusted from the previous target of 30%. In this 2018 JIS article titled Jamaica to Increase Renewables to 50%, Prime Minister Holness is quoted as saying, "We are working even harder to a more ambitious target to reach 50% of our electricity generation being from renewables by 2030, pushing our energy generation to be 50-50 by 2030. Fossil fuels and renewables is in our national security interest, in our survival interests," declared Prime Minister Holness. Our focus today is on examining Jamaica's path towards sustainable energy. Will we be able to accomplish our 2030 goal, or is the goal of 50-50 by 2030 a little bit too ambitious? Based on comments under my videos about Jamaica's Vision 2030 goals, I realized that quite a few of you think the whole thing is just overly ambitious. In recent years, Jamaica has made some progress in the area of renewable energy, overcoming obstacles to effectively establish a few wind and solar initiatives. One of the most notable projects is the Paradise Park Solar Farm in Westmoreland. According to this JIS article from 2019, it is the most extensive photovoltaic power plant in the region. Photovoltaic refers to the technology that converts sunlight into electricity. This is achieved using solar panels which contain cells that absorb energy from the sun and convert it into electrical energy that can be used to power devices such as homes, cars, and electronic devices. So in short, photovoltaic means using solar energy to generate electricity. Paradise Park also happens to be the most cost-effective energy producer so far. This solar park is generating income by supplying 37 megawatts of electricity to the Jamaica Public Service and will continue to do so for the next 2 decades. I wonder if that means a reduction in our electricity bills. The article was from a few years ago, so I will assume that providing energy to the national grid has reduced Jamaica's dependence on fossil fuels to some extent since then. Any reduction is a reduction, right? I visited Westmoreland a couple weeks ago. I wish I had thought about this topic before, so I could have stopped by Paradise Park and get some shots for you guys. Nevertheless, we will proceed with the information I found in my research. Wind energy is another area where Jamaica is making some progress. The Wigton Wind Farm in Manchester is one of the largest wind farms in the Caribbean and also provides energy to the national grid. Wind farm has huge potential in Jamaica because the country has the ideal conditions for harnessing wind power. With this in mind, we need to continuously explore ways to increase our capacity and improve efficiency. We can see that some effort is being made to create an enabling environment for renewable energy. This is evident by the implementation of several policies and initiatives to support the transition, including the Net Billing Program and the Energy Management and Efficiency Program. Now, I did some research on both of these programs to see if I could get a better understanding. My sources are in the description. You can have have a look at them if you want. Now, from my understanding, the net billing program is a way for people in Jamaica who have solar panels to sell the excess electricity they produce back to the power company. Here's a quote from the JPS website. Net billing will allow JPS customers who own renewable energy generators such as wind turbines and photovoltaic solar systems to generate electricity for personal use, as well as sell excess energy to JPS at wholesale or avoided cost prices set by the OUR. The customer will, however, purchase electricity at the existing rates as outlined in the tariff schedule. With the rising cost of electricity, even more people are thinking about leaving the grid. And as more people leave, those that remain will end up having to pay even more. The thing is, not only households are leaving, but businesses as well. Read the Energy Management and Efficiency Program. Here's a quote from the Ministry of Science and Technology website. The Energy Management and Efficiency Program is a deep retrofit of 80 health, education, and public agencies with energy-saving technologies and solar-powered resources to lower fuel and carbon dioxide emissions. These changes are expected to reduce the government's huge annual electricity bills. The urban traffic management system, part of the project, will reduce travel times and fuel consumption by 30% from improved traffic control management in the Kingston metropolitan region. As I shared a few weeks ago, the St. James Municipal Corporation, located in Montego Bay, Jamaica, is also embracing a green revolution to bring the Charles Gordon market up to speed with sustainable goals. Once equipped with solar panels, they should be able to reduce electricity costs by an estimated $12 million annually. In addition, a report from the IDB found that electric buses powered by floating solar power would be the most efficient and eco-friendly solution for the Montego Bay Metro's diesel fleet in Jamaica. These are just a couple examples of using energy-saving technologies in the public sector. Do you think that we are on the right track to increase the use of renewable energy to 50% of its energy mix by 2030? Or are we being overly ambitious? Let me know in the comments.